Welcome back. Let's get real for a second. Do you remember the feeling, the last time you walked onto a car lot? Close your eyes and picture it. The showroom lights, dancing off the perfectly polished paint of that brand new SUV. You open the door, slide into the driver's seat, run your hands over the leather steering wheel, and inhale that intoxicating scent. New car smell. It is captivating, isn't it? In that moment, it's not just a vehicle getting you from point A to point B. It feels like a statement. It feels like success. It is the tangible trophy for all those years of grinding, the overtime, the stress. You tell yourself, I have earned this. And then the script flips. The friendly salesperson sits down across from you. They don't talk about the total $40,000 or $50,000 price tag. No, they slide a piece of paper across the desk with one neatly circled number. $700 a month. They smile and say, it's just a car payment. Everyone has one these days. With your salary, this is easy. You sign the papers. You drive off the lot feeling like a king. But then, a few weeks later, the dopamine wears off. The first bill arrives in the mail. And then the next, and the next. That initial high fades, replaced by a silent, relentless wait. That $700 leaves your account like clockwork, gone before you even think about funding your emergency fund or investing for your freedom. Today, I want to talk about what I call the car payment trap. Now listen, this isn't a lecture judging you for liking nice cars. I'm not here to tell you to ride a bike to work. I am here to offer a sober, cold hard look at the math and how this normal monthly payment is secretly robbing you of your freedom. We are talking about a mistake that, when visualized correctly, could cost you up to $4 million over your lifetime. Yes, you heard that right. $4 million. That is the massive cost of opportunity we lose just to fit in. I'm here to help you see through the illusions of the modern financial system and build actual wealth, not just the appearance of it. If you're ready to stop throwing money out the car window and start building your own empire, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like right now. The algorithm needs to know you care about the truth. Are you ready? Let's deconstruct the trap. Let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves, why do we accept this? Why has drowning in debt for something that loses value every single day become the standard of our society? Here is the core of the problem. You have been programmed to think in terms of monthly payments, instead of total net worth. When you walk into a dealership, the first question is never what is the actual price of this car. No. They ask, how much do you want to pay? A month. The moment you answer that question, you have already lost the game. The modern financial system is incredibly smart. They have turned a vehicle, which is a depreciating asset, into a long-term debt instrument, just like a home mortgage. But there is a deadly difference. Real estate can go up in value. But your car, it starts to evaporate its value the second you drive it over the dealership curb. Studies from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show that the average car loses about 60% of its value in just the first 5 years. Imagine this, if you bought a stock, and you knew for a fact it would crash by 60%. Would you borrow money and pay interest just to own it? Of course not. But we do this with cars every single day. Why? Because we want to look rich, rather than actually be rich. Dave Ramsey, a famous personal finance expert, once said something profound. Normal is broke. If you do what normal people do, finance cars, upgrade every 3 years, you will get the same result as normal people, empty pockets and high anxiety. The trap here is not the car itself. The trap is the dangerous belief that says, if I can make the monthly payment, I can afford the car. That is the most expensive lie in personal finance. The ability to make a payment is not the same thing as affordability. And to understand why this trap has become so dangerous in 2024, we need to look back at history. Because our grandparents did not play this risky game. To truly understand how far we have drifted, let's rewind the clock. Back to 1980. Picture your parents, or maybe yourself back then. If you wanted a brand new car, say, a fresh Honda Accord or a Ford F-150, do you know what the sticker price was? According to historical data, the average new car cost about $7,000. Sounds cheap, right? But the ratio is what matters. The average household income back then was around $21,000. Let's do the simple math. The car's value was only about 33% of a household's annual income. 33%. And here is the kicker. Back then, nobody had heard of an 84 or 96-month loan. The standard car loan was just 36 months, maybe 48. Why? Because banks knew the car would fall apart or lose its value before you paid it off if they went any longer. The rules of the game were safe. It was called the 20-4-10 rule. 20% down. No more than 4 years. And no more than 10% of your income. Back then, if you didn't have the down payment, you didn't buy the car. You bought a beater. You saved up. The car was a tool for life, not a pet that ate all your money. The system was designed to protect consumers from owing too much on a dying asset. The math actually made sense. But then, something changed. A slow shift happened over the last 40 years. Slowly boiling the water that we the frogs are sitting in. We went from buying cars with income to buying cars with debt. And when we come back to 2024, the math has mutated into something terrifying. Welcome back to 2024. Buckle up, because these numbers might make you dizzy. If in 1980, you only needed 33% of your annual income to buy a car, today the math is completely broken. According to the latest data from Kelley Blue Book and Edmunds, the average price of a new car in America has hit a record high, $48,000. Let's compare that. Car prices have increased 7-fold, while average income has only increased about 3- or 4-fold. The gap between what we earn and what we drive has never been wider. So how do people still afford these cars? The answer lies in the magic trick of the financial industry. The loan stretch. Back in the day, a 4-year loan was the maximum. Now, a 72-month loan that's 6 years is considered normal. Even 84 months, 7 years is becoming the new standard. I have even seen loans stretch to 96 months. Can you imagine? You will be paying for that car for 8 years, while the warranty usually runs out in 3 to 5. This creates a dangerous phenomenon called negative equity, or as we say in the business, being underwater. It means you owe the bank more than the car is actually worth. Picture this. You are driving a car worth $30,000 on the street, but you still owe the bank $40,000 on paper. You are trapped, you cannot sell it, and you cannot trade it without writing a massive check to cover the loss. Why have costs skyrocketed like this? Part of it is technology, safety, and inflation, but a bigger part is lifestyle creep. We don't accept basic cars anymore. We want heated seats, panoramic sunroofs, giant touchscreens, and we are willing to sign a 7-year debt sentence just to get them. But wait. $48,000 or $700 a month isn't the whole story. That is just the tip of the iceberg. The real cost to keep that machine running is much, much scarier. Let's go back to that $700 monthly payment. Do you think that is all you pay? Big mistake. According to AAA, the true cost to own a new car averages over $10,000 a year. Why, let's add insurance, that is $150 a month on average, gas, another $150, maintenance, tires, oil changes, at least $50, and the biggest silent killer, depreciation. Your car is evaporating about $300 of value every month without you even noticing. So in reality, that car isn't costing you $700. It is draining over $1,000 of actual cash from your life, every single month. But wait, this is where it gets painful. Let's talk about opportunity cost. If instead of handing that $700 to the bank for a piece of metal that rusts, you invested it in the S&P 500 with an average 10% return, guess what happens? In 5 years, you would have about $53,000. In 10 years, $143,000. In 20 years, $530,000. And if you kept this up for your entire working career, say, 40 years, that number explodes into $4.4 million. Look at this graph. This is the real price of driving luxury. You aren't just buying a car. You are setting fire to $4 million of your retirement. You are trading permanent financial freedom for a temporary ego boost on your commute. Albert Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. But with a car loan, it is working against you. You are paying compound interest to the bank instead of earning it for yourself. Is that a trade worth making? Do you know why car dealerships love selling based on the monthly payment? Because it is a sedative that numbs your ability to assess risk. When you look at that $700 number, your brain rationalizes, I make $4,000 a month. 700 is easy. You feel safe. But that safety is an illusion. Here is the brutal reality. According to data from the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans cannot cover a $400 emergency expense with cash. And according to Lending Club, over 60% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. Even high-income earners. What does this mean? It means you are walking on a tightrope without a safety net. And that car payment, it is an anchor tied to your ankle. When life is good, you can keep walking, but life isn't always good. A sudden illness, a layoff, or even just your ex-unit breaking down, boom. That anchor drags you straight down into the abyss. A car payment turns a minor financial hiccup into a full-blown crisis. When you lose your job, you might pause your mortgage, you can cut back on food. But the repo man, he doesn't wait. He comes to take away the very thing you need to drive to a job interview. This is the psychological trap. We are overly optimistic about our future income, and we underestimate the storms. We lock up our future cash flow, which is uncertain to pay for a present pleasure, which is depreciating. And usually, by the time you realize you are drowning, it is already too late to turn back. Have you ever wondered, why do car manufacturers dare to price a pickup truck at $80,000 or $90,000? Who has that kind of cash lying around? The answer is almost no one. But they are not selling cars based on cash price. They are selling based on what we call decked purchasing power. Imagine we are at an auction. If everyone could only use the cash in their wallets to bid, car prices would be forced to drop to a reasonable level. But when the bank steps in and says, hey, I will let you borrow for 84 months, suddenly everyone feels rich. You are no longer bidding with your actual money. You are bidding with your future cash flow. And when everyone can borrow more, the car companies simply raise the prices to match that maximum borrowing limit. It is an endless loop. Longer loans lead to higher prices, which lead to even longer loans. And here is the ultimate price you pay. The lock-in effect. When you sign that 7-year debt contract, you aren't just buying a car. You are selling your flexibility. Do you hate your current job? You cannot quit because you need that paycheck for the car note on the first of the month. Do you want to start a business? You cannot take the risk because the bank doesn't care about your dreams. Do you want to move to a cheaper city? You cannot because you need that big city salary just to feed that luxury car. The car, which was supposed to be a symbol of freedom, has become a golden handcuff, chaining you to your desk. You have become a servant to your own vehicle. So, how do we escape this golden cage? The answer is not just making more money. It requires a radical mindset shift. We need to stop acting like the bank's customer and start acting like the bank. Here is the 2-step strategy to reclaim your freedom. Step 1. Embrace the beater. If you are driving an older car with no payments, keep it. Do not look at the lane next to you. That old car is not poverty. It is the shield protecting your freedom. Drive it until the wheels fall off. Step 2. The ghost payment. This is the secret of the wealthy. The moment you pay off your car loan, do not spend that extra money. Continue making that $700 payment, but send it to your own savings account. Think about it. Instead of sending $700 a month to a lender to watch your asset depreciate, you send it to yourself to earn compound interest. In 5 years, you won't have a worthless trade-in receipt. You will have over $45,000 in cash. The next time you walk into a dealership, you are not a desperate borrower asking about monthly payments. You walk in like a boss, with a briefcase full of cash. You have the power to negotiate. You have the power to walk away. That is real power. Build your foundation on ownership, not on leverage. In the end, this video isn't really about cars. It is about freedom. We live in a world obsessed with image. We are taught that success is the roar of a V8 engine, the touch of soft leather, the shiny logo on the steering wheel. But let me tell you the real definition of wealth. Wealth is silence. It is the silence in your mind when you go to sleep at night, knowing you owe nothing to anyone. It is the ability to say no to a toxic job. It is the ability to say yes to time with your family. Do not let the system fool you. Do not trade $4 million of your future. just to impress strangers at a stoplight today. The best car in the world is not the fastest car. It is the car with no payments. Because when you owe nothing, the steering wheel of your life finally belongs to you. The channel name is Thesis Invests, and I want you to win this money game. If this video woke you up, smash that subscribe button and share this with a friend who is about to finance a car. You might just save their future. See you in the next one. Stay sharp and stay free.